So you guys know how Trump calls Adam Schiff pencil neck? Well, the right has their own pencil neck, and he's a guy by the name of Tom Cotton. Now, this guy is fucking depraved. That's the only way to describe him. During the War on Terror years, the height of the War on Terror, this guy was an absolute fucking menace. He's the type to call for, we need to have more Guantanamos and more Abu Ghraibs. I'm going to defend torture. I'm going to defend the illegal wars of aggression against countries that didn't attack us. He is like the worst of the worst. He looks like a total fucking bitch boy. Skinny as all shit. Looks like a giraffe, giant neck. But he is a vicious little demon if I've ever seen one. So anyway, he goes on Meet the Press, and this is the Republican senator who they've tasked with go out there and defend the extrajudicial murder and terror attacks against innocent fishermen in the Caribbean. And this guy probably volunteered for it. He probably put his hand up and said, I'll do it. Because, this guy's never met a war he doesn't like. He's sort of like Lindsey Graham in that way. And if there's some innocent person getting vaporized, he's like, oh, I love that shit. I'll go out there and defend this because that's the only way he could get his little pee-pee hard. So he goes on Meet the Press. Now, there's a funny moment. I don't have this one pulled up, but there's a funny moment where he said, I believe President Bush has the right to do these attacks. And it's the most perfect Freudian slip I've ever heard because it literally is right back during the War on Terror days where, they were blowing up innocent people and sending innocent people to Guantanamo Bay and hundreds of thousands of Iraqis got killed. That is something he would have said back then. So he confuses Trump for Bush, which is on point. I've been calling Trump George W. Trump these days because he's literally the exact playbook of the illegal and offensive war in Iraq. He's using that for Venezuela. For Iraq, they said, oh, Saddam has weapons of mass destruction. He didn't. That's a lie. Trump is saying, oh, Maduro is he's a narco-terrorist who's the head of a cartel that we just fucking made up. Total lie. But this is what they're doing. Lies based on false pretenses. So here is the pencil neck himself, and listen to what he says here.
You're saying this boat was a threat to the United States, and yet NBC is reporting that Admiral Bradley told the lawmakers the drugs were heading first to Suriname, that's another South American country, and then ultimately to Europe or Africa. How is a boat that's not heading to the United States an imminent threat to this country, Senator?
There's no answer to that. He's immediately going to have to go into tap dance and bullshit mode.
That's one possibility based on the tactics and techniques that we've observed of these drug cartels. They send smaller boats to sea, and then they link up with a larger boat where they continue their mission. I didn't hear that specifically from Admiral Bradley.
Yeah, I got it. It wasn't going in the direction of the U.S., but it was going to meet with a different boat, and that different boat was going to come to the U.S. Totally made up.
In my briefing, but what we know is that these drug cartels, which are designated foreign terrorist organizations, are trafficking drugs to our shores. And when we have an opportunity to strike one of these boats, where the intelligence gives us high confidence that everyone on the boat is a valid target because they are associated with these cartels, then I think we need to strike it.
Yeah, but here's the problem. The intelligence is made up. Just like they made up the intelligence when it came to Saddam Hussein and weapons of mass destruction. You guys made it up. It's made up. It's fake. It's not real.
There's other cases when we don't have that high confidence, when there might be, for instance, young girls that are being human trafficked, and obviously our military wouldn't take that strike. I think it's much more likely that we're missing some opportunities to strike these boats and protect Americans because we don't have the same high level of confidence.
That's a lie. They've murdered at least 83 people. They've bombed at least 20 boats. According to Rand Paul, a Republican senator, he said these boats that they're bombing would need to refuel 20 times to even reach the U.S., even though they're not even going in the direction of the U.S. In other words, it's a lie. It's a total lie.
Is there any hard evidence that shows that this particular boat was headed to the United States?
That didn't come up in my briefing.
Oh, so the guy who's sent out there to defend this is like, yeah, evidence, bro? Are we talking about evidence, bro? We got the classic President Black Bush, Dave Chappelle moment mixed with Allen Iverson. We talking about practice? Practice? We talking about practice? That didn't come up, bro. Really? That's the core of the matter. And if you're admitting it didn't come up, you're admitting you're just full of shit and bullshitting the world right now on national TV.
There's very reliable, multiple sources of intelligence that tells us that this boat had drugs on it, that everyone on that boat was associated with these designated foreign terrorist organizations that are trying to kill American children.
Again, totally made it up. Hasn't presented evidence whatsoever. And I don't know why the fuck it triggers me when people say associated. It's associated, not she. I know I'm a grammar Nazi in the midst of critiquing an actual Nazi. I understand that, but I just can't. That just bothers the shit out of me. All right, more. Here we go. He's not done.
You are talking about the president protecting Americans, Arkansans, from drugs, and yet just this week,
Arkansans. That's a weird one. Would you say Arkansans? Arkansans. Okay. All right, whatever.
Arkansans from drugs, and yet just this week, the president pardoned the former president of Honduras who trafficked more than 500 tons of cocaine into the United States.
That's about $20 billion worth of cocaine that this guy trafficked in the U.S., who Trump just fucking pardoned. He just pardoned.
Serving a 45-year sentence, Senator. How does that make America safer?
Well, I haven't spoken to the president about that pardon. There may be strategic reasons to pardon a former president of Honduras because of our relationship with Honduras and trying to move them in a more pro-American direction. I'll leave that open as a possibility. But
So, in other words, trafficking $20 billion worth of cocaine, which led to Lord knows how many deaths, well, that's okay if there's, like, strategic reasons to do it. Are you fucking kidding me? You can't do your chest-thumping, fucking virtue signaling, we're gonna take out Maduro because he's trafficking drugs, bro. And then be like, trafficking drugs? It's a strategic disagreement. Oh, my God.
I think you know my general approach to crime is that we should convict them, and then we should lock them up, and once they're locked up, we should keep them locked up.
Interesting. Have you said a single fucking thing about Donald Trump pardoning somebody who laundered money for Al-Qaeda and drug cartels? CZ, have you said anything about that at all? How about all of the white-collar criminals and fraudsters that Trump has pardoned who have a long history and track record of stealing millions of dollars from people? He pardons them, then wipes out the fact that they even have to pay restitution. Have you said shit about that? Have you said shit against the pardoning of at least 1,200 January 6ers, including people who assaulted cops, who went on, some of them, to kill people, who went on, some of them, to be fredophiles and then argue that Trump's pardon lets them off the hook for their pedophilia? Have you said dick about that? No, you're a fucking joke. You're a con artist. You believe in nothing. You are pro-crime as long as Trump is pro-crime.
Given that, do you oppose the pardon, given that you're saying you want to protect Arkansans?
I'd have to know more about the circumstances. Sometimes pardons of foreign nationals who have been leaders of other countries do have underlying strategic reasons. But my approach, as you know, Kristen, to crime is to lock them up, throw away the key, and don't let them out.
I honestly and sincerely, I mean this from the bottom of my heart, I have no idea how anybody can be a Republican. No, I actually mean that. Like, I have no idea. If you are a Republican, you should be fucking ashamed of yourself. You shouldn't be able to look in the mirror watching this. This is like a war on logic and reason right in front of our eyes. Right in front of our eyes. We need to overthrow Maduro because he's trafficking drugs, bro, but then also let's pardon the guy who trafficked $20 billion worth of cocaine in, bro. What? They can't even keep their lies straight for one day. For one day. They can't do it. All right, more cotton.
Republican Congressman Mike Turner of Ohio made the point. He said this, quote, if the people in these boats were captured and had a trial and were convicted, they would not be subject to capital punishment. They would go to jail. Why should death without due process be the punishment at would-be drug smugglers at sea?
Well, what President Trump is trying to do and what I support is to protect Americans from these drugs, especially kids. Again, we've had hundreds of thousands of Americans die of drug overdoses in recent years.
Zero fentanyl comes from Venezuela. Zero. Less than 10% of the drugs that come in this country come from Venezuela. This is all a total lie.
It's been proven that the best way to have a large-scale effect on these drug traffickers is to destroy these boats. Interdiction.
What? That's been proven? Oh, has it? What, you want to show me, what is it, a study from the University of Massachusetts Amherst that says, yes, blow up these boats for the kids? Oh my God, man. Oh my God. These people, he should be tarred and feathered. All of the people defending this should be fucking tarred and feathered, and they should never have a moment of peace. There should be protesters, peaceful protesters, every day, showing up to their fucking jobs, showing up to their houses, showing up to the restaurants they go in, calling them the fucking disgusting war criminals they are.
Is very dangerous for our sailors or for our Coast Guardsmen. It's time-consuming, and it's clear over the years that it simply doesn't have the kind of impact that blowing up these boats do. Right now, there's been a significant decrease in drugs trafficked into our country, and I bet there's a significant decrease in the number of cartel members who are willing to get on these boats.
But the United States doesn't shoot people at the border who are bringing drugs into the country. Why should it be different at sea? Are you saying we should start shooting people at the border?
No, I'm not, Kristen. But we are going to the source where we have large-scale boats that are trafficking hundreds, if not thousands of pounds of drugs that could kill thousands of Americans, hundreds of Arkansans a year. It is a highly effective and efficient way to stop these drugs from reaching our shores.
All right. First of all, as we've pointed out 1,000 times, these are not drug traffickers. They are fishermen. That's point number one. Point number two, even if they were trafficking drugs, this is psychotic. The punishment for trafficking drugs is not instant vaporization and death in a murder spree and terrorist attack. Okay? You would get on the boats, you would seize what's on the boat, you would arrest the people, and you'd give them a fair trial. That's what a civilized country would do. Absolute dead-eyed psychopaths and imperialists would fucking blow them up and then post it on the internet to brag about it. So it's doubly wrong. It's wrong because they're not even drug dealers. But even if they were, this would still be absolutely psychotic. I feel like I live in the fucking Twilight Zone. I really do. Just like the terrorist inflation that the U.S. government has done over the years, it's like terrorist inflation. They become more and more like fucking Al-Qaeda right in front of our eyes, and everybody just acts like it's normal. Now, by the way, I told you, these were not, they're just not drug dealers. Ready for this? 2 bodies appeared on Colombia's shores in Puerto Lopez. All evidence suggests they were Colombian victims of U.S. bombing in the Caribbean. And so here, I'm going to play this for you. Obviously, they blanked it out, but you'll see what I'm talking about.
Anoche, en medio de una parranda, se entera uno de que las explosiones y los bombardeos en el Caribe, ayer estaban serie de esos bombardeos y se
body right here. Look at that.
presume que eran pues ciudadanos colombianos que fueron asesinados.
So they're being so dishonest because they're pretending like we don't know anything extra about this when there has been reporting on this. We know there was one outlet that went and spoke to the family members of one of the fishermen that was murdered. They know his name. They know his life story. They know that he has however many kids he has. Like, these are real people with real stories, and there's been more reporting on it. One of the ships wasn't even from Venezuela. It was from Trinidad and Tobago, and they were fishermen who got blown up. Another was Colombia. That's what we're talking about here. Some of them were from Venezuela. But again, no evidence any of these were actually fucking drug boats. And then how about this? Ready? U.S. Navy deleted video of October 17th boat strike survivors. In this attack, 2 men were rescued and detained on USS Iwo Jima. Navy was ordered to delete photos and videos. Ship documents reveals. So in other words, they knew in this instance, and this is when they bombed once and then saved the people, even then they go, oh my God, these clearly are not fucking drug dealers. If this comes out, we're cooked. Quick, delete the videos. Delete the evidence. This is what we're dealing with. You think it's a coincidence the admiral who oversees this fucking resigned? You think that's a coincidence? It's not a coincidence. It's a guy with a conscience. And he goes, holy shit. You're ordering the vaporization of innocent people based on no fucking evidence in the Caribbean, and then you're pounding your chest about it and acting like you're a fucking macho man. That's somebody's husband. That's somebody's brother. What are you talking about? What is this? Our humanity is gonzo. It's gone. And now you got people fucking on live TV. Pencil neck Tom Cotton is out there fucking with his tiny little boner under the table going, yes, more murder, more bloodshed. I love it. Yes. Hey, y'all, do me a favor and like and subscribe. It helps out big time in the algorithm. Click the bell as well for notifications when videos drop, and watch that video on screen right now. You know you want to.